Hear that? Nothing? Me neither. But that's the perfect spot for your company's name to step into the spotlight. Become an underwriter for As You Mic It and let every episode be your curtain call. Slip a note to podcast@pashakespeare.org for more information.
Hello, friends, and welcome to As You Mic It, the Prologues, your handy pocket guide to Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival's 2026 Legends and Legacy Summer Theater Series. I'm Connie Veringer, Associate Producer here at PSF, ready to set the stage before you take your seat. Our prologue is a quick companion episode designed to arm you with plot essentials, thematic touchpoints, and a few production gems so you can walk into Labuda feeling like an insider. Today, we're looking into Coriolanus, Shakespeare's tragedy that explores how public honor and private obligation collide. Leading us through this uncompromising world of power and expectation is our Director of Education and Community Engagement, Kim Carson.
Thanks, Connie. Coriolanus is a Shakespearean tragedy about a proud Roman general, Caius Marcius Coriolanus, whose contempt for the common people leads to his banishment from Rome, his alliance with his former enemies, and his eventual death after his mother persuades him to spare his homeland. The play explores themes of class conflict, political ambition, honor, and the tension between personal pride and duty to the state, set in the early Roman Republic. So let's get into it. Imagine a man who is the perfect weapon. He's brave, he's disciplined, and he has saved your city from total destruction single-handedly, and you want to give him your highest political office, but there's one tiny catch. He has to say thanks, and he has to stand in the town square, show his scars, and ask for your vote. And he won't do it. Many of us think of Shakespeare's heroes who fail as people who are too weak or too indecisive. But in this prologue, we're talking about Coriolanus, a man who fails because he is so unwavering in his behavior and opinion. So let's get into the details. Rome is in a state of perpetual crisis. People are rioting because there is a famine. People are hungry and they blame the elites. The elites blame the people for being lazy. When the Volscians, who are Rome's enemies, attack, Marcius leads the Roman forces and almost single-handedly conquers the city of Coriolis, earning the honorary name Coriolanus. And when he fights the Volscians at the city of Coriolis, he doesn't just lead the army. He enters the gates alone and he wins. So when he returns to Rome, he is this sort of god among men, right? Highly revered. So now a hero, Coriolanus is nominated for consul, which is the highest political office. And Roman tradition requires him to appear in the marketplace, show his battle wounds to the citizens, and humbly ask for their votes. And though the people initially support him, Coriolanus can barely hide his contempt for this ritual. When tribunes, who are representatives of the common people, get the crowd going against him, he explodes in rage, calling the people unworthy of power, and the tribunes accuse him of treason and threaten execution. But his mother, Volumnia, who raised him to be a warrior, convinces him to return and apologize to save his life. She tells him, go to the marketplace and pretend to be humble. And this creates a sort of fascinating psychological crisis for Coriolanus, and he responds with, would you have me false to my nature? Rather say I play the man I am. So he goes to the square, and his nature wins. He ends up insulting the voters, calling them rats, and he ends up being banished from Rome. And in that moment, he utters the most arrogant, lonely line that I can think of in literature. He says back to them, I banish you. So bitter and enraged, Coriolanus turns back on his country and joins his greatest enemy, Aufidius, the Volscian leader. He decides that if he cannot rule Rome, he will burn it. And Aufidius welcomes him as an ally, and together they march an army towards Rome. The Romans panic as the Volscian forces approach. They send messengers to beg Coriolanus for mercy, but he refuses them all, even his former friends. But finally, his mother, Volumnia, comes forward, and she doesn't bring an army. She brings his wife, Virgilia, and his son. And in this play's crucial scene, Volumnia pleads with him to spare Rome. She kneels in the dirt, asking whether he'll destroy his mother and family in order to destroy the city to satisfy his anger. This is the only time in the play that Coriolanus breaks. He reaches out, holds her hand, and says, "O mother, mother, you have won a happy victory for Rome, but for your son, most dangerously, you have with him prevailed." He chooses his family over his pride in this moment, and he signs a peace treaty with Rome. Coriolanus returns to the Volscian city, where Aufidius is angry that he betrayed the Volscians. Aufidius calls him boy, which triggers Coriolanus's fatal pride once more, and he boasts of his conquest and how he beat them before, enraging the Volscian crowd. Aufidius and conspirators kill him, thus concluding our tragedy of Coriolanus. Now, of course, you know I like to give you themes to look out for and things to think about when you're going to come and see the play. So as you're watching, think about these three important things. Number one, the class struggle. The conflict between the aristocrats and the commoners is really central to everything in this play. 2, pride versus duty. Coriolanus's unyielding pride clashes with his love for his family and his country. And then number 3, political instability. The play examines the fragility of the early Roman Republic, which we've seen in so many other democracies, republics, etc. throughout history. It's a transcendental theme that you'll see playing really strongly throughout this play. So that leads me to, why do we care about this 400-year-old play about a grumpy Roman general? Well, I think it's because Coriolanus asks us questions we are still struggling with. What happens when we value being right more than being united? And Coriolanus had total integrity. He never lied, he never hedged, but he also had zero empathy. And he lived in a world of I, while the city-state requires we. This play is about how pride and rigidity, the very qualities that make Coriolanus a great warrior, destroy him as a political figure. It explores the tension between military valor and democratic politics, the power of mothers over sons, and whether compromise is wisdom or weakness. Shakespeare, I think, is showing us that a person who is all iron, quote unquote, cannot bend. They can only break. In our own lives, we often celebrate people who tell it like it is and refuse to compromise, but Coriolanus serves as a warning that a leader who cannot perform the basic act of human connection, who cannot show their scars to the people they lead, maybe isn't a hero. Perhaps they are just a monument, and monuments eventually fall. Now, this is our extreme Shakespeare production this summer, which means our actors follow many of Shakespeare's original practices. They show up knowing their lines and have only 4 days of rehearsal to get this monumental play up and performing. It's thrilling. And I hope you'll listen to later episodes of this podcast and also come to our live prologue that takes place 45 minutes before each show to learn more about that. Coriolanus begins previews July 22nd and runs through August 1st in the Schubert Theater. And you can reach our box office at 610-282-WILL. That's 610-282-9455.
Until then, for all of us here at As You Mic It, I'm Connie Berenger, reminding you that honor without humility becomes its own undoing. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at Labuda. Thank you for listening to As You Mic It, a Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival presentation recorded on the beautiful campus of DeSales University. Our music is by Cedric Lamar, with hosts Jason King-Jones, Kim Carson, and Connie Berenger. For more information on our summer theater series, giving opportunities, tickets, and more, visit pashakespeare.org. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you at Labuda.
Legends, lovers, and timeless drama. It's all happening at PA Shakespeare Festival this summer. Join us for the Legends and Legacy season, celebrating our 35th anniversary. Subscriptions to the 2026 Summer Theater Series are on sale now. Get yours at pashakespeare.org.